Mom and Dad only loved my brother until his money was gone. They want me to help them, but what I did made them shocked and sorry. I am 31, a man, sitting in my home with my soon-to-be wife, our baby who is 6 months old, and our German dog when my phone makes a sound. Number I did not know. Most times I would not answer it, but something made me answer. Mike, is that you? 13 years. I have not heard that voice in 13 long years, but I knew it right away. My mom. Let me tell you from the start. I am the younger son in what seemed like a normal family, but everything was about my older brother, Tom, who is 2 years older than me, and the main person in everything from the beginning. Tom was very good with computers, the one who would be famous in the tech world and change everything. Me? I was the boy in the car space at home, fixing car parts, learning how motors work. No one said I loved doing it. They said I was just getting dirty. The car space was my safe place. My dad had made half of it into Tom's computer room. 3 screens, a game chair, and all the stuff. My half had an old work table my grandpa built in the 1970s, old tools given to me, and any broken motors I could bring home from places where old cars are kept. The only person who understood was my grandpa. Grandpa would find me in the car space on weekends, with my shirt sleeves rolled up, working on some old motor from a junk car. That is real skill, he would say. Grandpa had a 1965 Ford Mustang, white with red inside. He bought it new in the city of Detroit because he got a better job at the Ford company. That car made him very happy, and he made sure I was the one who liked it a lot. Someday, this nice car will be yours, Mike. You are the only one who understands how machines really work. Every time the family got together, it was the same thing. Tom would talk all about his new app idea, while everyone stood around him like he was a great teacher. Computer classes, new business ideas, money from rich people. The man never stopped talking. My dad would smile with pride at Tom. Computer work is the future. Real money, real respect. Then he would look at me with sadness, especially when I came with black car oil under my nails. Tom loved to make me feel bad. Old cars are trash. Why fix old things when you can make new things? He would hold up his Apple computer like it was something very special. This small computer has more power than what NASA used to go to the moon. I learned when I was young how to not be seen. It was easier that way. When I was 16 years old, my grandpa died. His heart stopped while he was sleeping. At the time when we said goodbye to him, the family was sharing his things. But my grandpa was smart. He left clear directions. The Mustang car came to me. Keys, papers, everything, with a note for me. Make this car run well again. The car had not been used for 3 years after my grandpa got too sick to drive. The motor got stuck from not being used, the inside parts broke from the cold winters in the state of Michigan, the paint lost its color in some places, but the car was still strong. Original metal parts, all numbers matching. The factory paper was still in the box in front of the passenger seat. I spent 2 years fixing that Mustang car from start to finish. I took the motor apart to its main piece, then put it back together one piece at a time. Everything was cleaned, made balanced, and put back the right way. When I started the motor for the first time, the deep sound from the special exhaust pipes told me everything I needed to know. Tom thought I was crazy. My mom and dad said it was taking up space in the car area, and I should think about what is useful. The worst moment came when I was 18. I got into a school for car work with some help paying for it. The local school was known for making very good car workers. Their old car fixing class was famous. Men finished school and went right to work at famous car shops or for famous people. I went into the front room with the letter that said I got in. My hands were shaking because I was happy. I got in. They're giving me some help with money, but I still need $3,000 for school. I thought they would smile, maybe say, "Good job." I got no sound instead. My dad put down his paper. "You know, we are spending our money on Tom right now."
He got into that computer school in the city of San Francisco. My mom made a sad sound. "Tom has a big chance, dear. You can always learn about cars later." My dad moved his head up and down. "Work for some years and save money. That is what I did." I stood there holding that letter, feeling like it turned to nothing in my hands. Everything I was happy about meant nothing to them. I could wait. I could find a way. But Tom always got a yes right away. No questions. That night, I put all my things in a bag. A few changes of clothes, old shoes, $300 from my part-time job. No one stopped me. No one asked where I was going. I left when the sun was going down and it was starting to rain a little. I looked back one time at the end of our street, then kept walking. I made a promise to myself. I would never ask them for anything again. The Mustang car stayed in their car space. I did not have enough money to get papers for it or protect it with insurance. But someday, I said to myself, someday I would come back for my grandpa's car. Life after leaving home was very hard. The first few weeks were bad, sleeping on seats in parks, looking for a job from morning to night. I learned fast that most places will not give a job to an 18-year-old with no home and work clothes that smell bad because they have not been washed. The only place I knew was this old car shop where I worked sometimes in high school, Frank's Car Fix, between a tire shop and a food shop that was not doing well. Frank, the main car fixer, was still there, a man in his 50s. Hands always had black motor oil on them. He did not talk much, but saw everything. Frank had a hard life too. Started as an oil changer in the 1980s, worked his way up with just his skills. He could tell what was wrong with motors just by the sound. People would drive up and he would know what was wrong before they opened the front of the car. I went there one morning looking very bad and asked if he needed help. Frank looked at me from top to bottom, gave me a rag with oil on it. I do not care who you were before. Are you willing to work? That is all that is important. I started with the worst jobs, cleaning mud off wheel edges, washing sticky stuff off car floor covers, pushing cars in very cold weather, hands with cracks from cold water, nose feeling nothing from the wind. But I never said I was unhappy. I learned to understand tire wear marks, see problems with car parts from how cars sat in the work area. At this time, I found Buddy, a very thin German Shepherd baby dog that someone left behind the car shop. Could not have been more than 3 months old, bones showing, eating old food bits. Frank let me keep him there if he didn't cause problems. Buddy became like my shadow, sleeping in the restroom, watching me work, making low sounds at people who were too loud. Smart dog. He learned to work fast, knew which tools I needed before I asked for them, could tell the difference between happy people and the ones who would cause problems. That dog has good feelings, Frank would say. He does not trust people who talk too much. I worked every time Frank would let me. Some days, rain went through my pants, but I kept working. Frank saw this. I could feel his eyes watching how I dealt with not nice people, how I took care of the tools, if I did fast bad work when no one was looking. My first real test, I found a broken small pipe causing a leak, a $5 part, a 15-minute job. The car ran well after. I could have told the person it needed big motor work.
Made Frank an extra $300. But I changed the pipe, asked for money for the part, and a half hour of work. Frank watched all of this from the other side of the work area. When the Corvette car started running very smooth, he moved his head up and down one time. That was when I became a real car fixer. Then one Saturday, I heard laughter I knew from the car parking area. My heart felt bad. Tom was there with our cousins, John and Sam. Expensive computer company shirt, fancy pants, the whole trying to look like a tech person look. Still fixing old junk cars, huh, Mike? I said nothing, just kept working, but I felt very bad inside. John looked around with a mean face. This place smells bad. Can't believe someone chooses to stay in a bad place like this when there is real money in computer work. Sam joined in. My friend just got a job at Google. Starting pay is more than $100,000. At the same time you're here getting dirty for very little pay. Tom laughed the loudest. Old cars are done. Everything will run on power soon. He is fixing yesterday's trash while I am making tomorrow's answers. They walked away, but the harm was done. That night my phone made a sound. My dad's voice sounded very mad. Mike, why did you let family see you doing that bad job? People will think we did a bad job raising you. Your brother is about to start his third new company and you are cleaning car wheel covers like someone who left school? I said, I asked you and Mom for help with school one time. You said no. So now I'm doing it by myself. My dad said something about not thinking they would tell people I was family if I lived like this. The phone call ended. A week later, I was under an old truck putting in new oil when Frank walked over, stood watching me work with his arms crossed. You work harder than men who have been here for years. Never ask for days off, never late, never say you are unhappy. I came out from under the truck, cleaned my hands on Buddy's head. The dog had gotten bigger and would protect me more. People learned fast not to bother me when Buddy was there. Frank moved his head toward an old Camaro car on the lift. Do you know how to fix a Rochester Quadrojet car part? I had never done one, but I fixed the same part on my grandpa's Mustang car. Same ideas. For the first time since I knew him, Frank smiled. Stay late today. I will show you what real car fixing work looks like. That Camaro car belonged to a person who collected old cars and brought it from 3 states away. All numbers matching 1969 SS 396 with the original green paint and special hood. The person had asked for Frank especially because people were talking about his old car work.
Frank showed me how to find hard problems, how to make cars run better, old car fixing ways from old car workers. He showed me how to read metal numbers, date marks, how to tell real parts from new copies. New cars are computers with wheels, Frank explained, with his hands deep in the Camaro car's motor area. But these old cars are pure machine art. You understand one, you understand all of them.
The next few weeks, I kept doing car wash jobs during the day, stayed at night to learn the work. Frank started giving me old car jobs that needed real skill, care about small things, respect for car history. One night, Frank gave me a paper. Local car school, night classes, 2-year proof of skill with special classes in old car fixing. The same school I got into right after high school. I know the man who runs it. If you are serious, I will write a good word for you. I looked at that paper, hands shaking. I can pay a little at a time, work more hours. Frank moved his hand. I will pay what the school help does not. Call it an investment in future workers. First time in my life, someone thought I was worth spending money on. 2 years of night school while working days. Cold noodles for dinner, studying until midnight. Sometimes falling asleep at the break table with Buddy lying next to me. But I never gave up. The school was hard. Real work with every American fast car you can think of. 1967 Shelby GT 500. 1970 Plymouth Cuda. 1969 Dodge Charger RD. I learned the difference between real old cars and copies. How to see matching numbers. What made a car worth money versus just being old. Dave helped me keep going when things were hard. You are building something they can never take from you, he would say when I would say I was tired. He would bring me parts books to study, test me on metal numbers and date marks. Frank slowly gave me harder jobs, old car fixing, making cars run better, hard problem solving that needed understanding both machine parts and car history. When I got my paper, my name was in the workbook as an old car expert. I had my first big success with a 1968 Mustang 428 Cobra Jet that came in hardly running. The owner had taken it to 3 shops, was told the motor was bad. I took the motor apart, saw the problem right away. The cam timing was off by 1 tooth. Fast fix, but only if you knew what to look for. When that 428 motor started with its special sound, making 335 power like it did in 1968, the owner almost cried. He gave me $500 extra and sent 2 more people that month. A year after getting my paper, Frank made it real, made me the main car fixer for old car jobs. You handle old cars better than men who have been doing this for 20 years. I started to become known in the old car world. News travels fast when you can make a numbers-matching 1967 L78 Chevelle car run like it did when it left the Chevelle car factory in Kansas City. People who collect cars talk, and they remember who does good work. One afternoon, Frank took me to the back office. Buddy sat at my feet, now fully grown and very scary. 120 pounds of protection. Ever think about running your own old car shop? Like my own business? I am thinking about opening a special part. Old car fixing, making cars run better, special work. But I need someone who loves this work more than anything. I sat quiet for a few seconds. It sounded big and scary. I have never been in charge of anything before. Frank sat back with a small smile. And I have never taught anyone with your natural skills. 2 months later, I was officially in charge of the old car part. Small space at first. 2 car lifts, special tools, parts, friends across the country. I hired 1 skilled worker, Ben, who had worked at a Mustang special shop for 15 years. Ben knew every screw and bolt on a 1965 to 1973 Mustang, could see copy parts from far away, had friends with Ford part sellers that most people did not know about. He taught me the business part, how to guess job costs, find hard-to-get parts, deal with car collectors who knew exactly what they wanted. News travels fast in the old car world. A man brings in a numbers-matching 1967 Chevelle SS. You do it right, he tells 10 other car collectors. Soon, we had more work than we could do. Dave had become the boss of the parts store, but still helped me find hard-to-get parts. You are making me look good, he would joke. Half my best buyers are yours now. The big moment came when a car collector brought in a 1970 Plymouth Cuda that had been sitting in a farm building for 30 years. 446-pack car, original purple paint, all numbers matching. Rust had hurt the sides, but the motor and parts that make the car move were good. I spent 8 months on that car, did a full take apart and fix. Every part cleaned, fixed, and made to factory rules. When we were done, it looked like it just came from the factory. The owner put it in a big car show, won first place in its group. Pictures were in 3 different magazines. My phone kept ringing for weeks. 3 years later, the old car part was not just making money, it was the best part of Frank's business. Old car owners were driving from 3 states away, waiting lists many months long. I learned the business part too, how to find rare parts, make friends with collectors, make papers for top-level car fixes. I learned about car history, how to check matching numbers, what made one car worth $50,000 and another worth $500,000. One Friday, Frank asked me to come to his office after closing, took a folder from his desk, gave it to me. I am planning to open a full old car fixing place separate from the regular shop. High-level work, top quality. It sounded like a normal next step. Frank looked at me for a long time, but I do not want to do it alone this time. I want you to invest money, be my partner, half and half on the old car side. My heart stopped. Frank, I do not have that kind of money. I am not looking for someone to bring money. I am looking for someone with big ideas, skills, love for the work. You can get a small business loan. I will sign with you. I looked down at the paper with co-owner at the top. The young man who had left home with nothing was asked to become a business partner. I will do it. The old car fixing place opened that spring in a changed, big building. High ceilings, special tools, temperature-controlled storage, a paint room that could do show-quality paint, a machine shop for custom building, part storage organized like a library. I did everything, hiring car fixers with old car experience, setting up workways, making friends with sellers from Hemmings Motor News to private collectors selling real parts. We did not put ads in old car magazines or at car shows. People telling people, a simple sign, top old car fixing, where history comes back to life. The first customer brought in a 1969 Boss 429 Mustang that had been sitting in a farm building for 30 years. One of 857 made, original white paint under years of dust. The customer had gotten it when someone died, did not know what he had until we cleaned it. 6 months later, we had a waiting list 2 years long. Over the next 8 years, the shop grew faster than we thought. One lift became 4. Part-time help became a full old car team. We went from weekend small jobs to having work for more than a year ahead. When I turned 31, we had become one of the most respected old car fixing businesses on the East Coast.
Frank came by every weekend, walked through the cars being fixed, checked how things were going. Then one afternoon, after looking at money reports for 3 months, he said, "Have you thought about growing into making cars run better? We have a good name now. If we keep this speed, we could add a car performance part. Pro Touring builds, old cars with new parts, custom building. Pro Touring was getting big. Old fast car bodies with new suspension, brakes, fuel systems. Best of both for men who wanted old looks with new performance." Frank moved his head up and down. I will wait for good news. Right when I was planning to grow, I met Lisa, not at a car show or through friends. On a rainy Tuesday, when I was deep in fixing a Shelby Cobra car, she drove up in an old Honda Civic car making strange sounds, steam coming from under the front. She came in with tired eyes, holding her bag tight, looking like someone who had car problems all morning. "Can someone check this fast? I have a job meeting I cannot miss." I was the only one free. Buddy smelled around her car while I opened the front and looked at it. Common Honda problem. A rubber water hose had broken at the clamp, letting water flow out. "Water hose broke. Nothing bad. I can fix it for now, but you will need a new one soon." Her eyes got big. "That's all?" The shop down the street told me I needed a whole new water system. I moved my shoulders, already getting the emergency hose fix kit. Some places see money signs. I see what really needs fixing. She smiled. Not just to be nice, but real. "Then I owe you coffee next time." The next day, she came back with coffee and food, said, "Thanks." Buddy liked her right away. So did I. That is how it started. Simple and easy. Lisa worked as a picture maker for a sales company nearby. Went by the shop every day. Sometimes she stopped with car questions, but stayed until I locked the door. She was very interested in old car fixing work. She would watch me fix a car part with the same focus other people gave movies. Asked smart questions about pressure numbers, fire timing, why some changes worked and others did not. I had never been good at talking about feelings, but with her, everything felt easier. She did not ask how much money I made or think I was less important because I worked with my hands. When I told her why a numbers-matching 1967 L78 Chevelle was worth more than a copy with the same motor, she really listened. There is something nice about bringing these old cars back to life. A few months later, I asked her to an old car show, something I had never shared with anyone except my grandpa. She walked through lines of fixed, fast cars, asking real questions about original paint codes and date-correct parts. When she held my hand during a beautiful 1967 GTO car show, it was warm, steady, full of understanding. Dave met her at a shop food party and took me to the side later. That one is a keeper. She does not try to change you. The real test came when I brought her to my home to see my grandpa's Mustang. I had finally gotten it back from my parents' house and had it brought to my apartment. I spent months making it like new for car shows. Right air cleaner, correct date-coded hoses, factory right paint matched to the original white color. Lisa moved her fingers along the side of the car, careful not to hurt the paint. "This is the car your grandpa gave you?" "Yes, 1965 Mustang car, 289 4-barrel factory CC code motor." She looked at the inside. Original red vinyl, door parts, front panel, all fixed to factory rules. "It is perfect." That is when I knew she understood. This was not just a car to her, it was family history, skill work, a connection to something real.
We decided to get married a year later. No fancy asking, no big setup. We were working late at the shop. She was helping put parts books in order while I fixed a newly built 454 big motor. "Marry me," I said, looking up from the motor area. She smiled, that same real smile from the first day. "About time you asked." The best part came 6 months ago when Lisa told me she was going to have a baby. Jack was born 6 months ago, and the boy is already showing signs. I put him in his seat next to whatever car I am working on, and he becomes quiet, just looking at the motor with wide, interested eyes. Buddy has made himself the baby's personal protector, lying next to the seat, one ear always listening for problems. We live in a simple 3-bedroom house now. Nothing fancy, but there is a 2-car garage where I keep my grandpa's Mustang and have space to work on other projects. The main space holds the Mustang under a special car cover. The second space has a lift for whatever project car I am working on. Every evening, I sit in that garage with Jack on my lap and Buddy at my feet, telling him about his great-grandpa and the cars that built America. The boy does not understand the words yet, but he listens to the motor sounds I make, little hands reaching toward the shiny parts. Last month, I was working when my phone rang. Number I did not know. I almost let it go to voicemail. "Mike, is that you?" 13 years of no talking, but I knew that voice right away. My mom. Mom! I was surprised and shaking. "Yes, it is me. I know you probably do not want to hear from me. I just wanted to know if you are okay." I was quiet for a few seconds. "How did you get my number?" "I have been keeping up with you quietly. Still hear things through family. Never called before because you did not want to hear from me. But this time is different." "What is different?" "The Thanksgiving holiday is next week. We are having it at Tom's new place in Westchester. He just bought this great house in Westchester. I thought it would be nice if you came, just this one time." I did not answer right away. After 13 years, now they want to get together. "Tom is doing very well. His new company is about to sell to the public. I will think about it, Mom." Then I ended the call, sat still on the couch, phone in my hand, screamed with no sound. Buddy knew something was wrong and put his foot on my knee. Lisa walked over, Jack on her side, gave me coffee. When she saw my face, she stopped. "Are you okay?" "My mom called." Lisa sat next to me, Jack reaching for my hands. "Your mom who gave birth to you?" I moved my head up and down. After 13 years, she called to ask me to Thanksgiving dinner? Lisa looked unhappy. "After 13 years?" I moved my head up and down. "I guess now that Tom is showing off a big house, they want the forgotten son back." I laughed without happiness. Lisa did not say anything right away, just moved Jack to one arm and put her free hand on mine. "It has been 13 years, Mike. Maybe things have changed." I looked toward the garage where my grandpa's Mustang sat under a car cover. Down the hall, Jack made those little baby sounds that always made me smile. Buddy lay down on the floor between us. My real family was right here. I do not know. I'm used to life without them. But if you do not go, will you always wonder what if? After a long quiet time, I moved my head up and down slowly. I will think about it. That night, I picked up my phone, sent a text. "Mom, I will come." Thanksgiving was at Tom's new place in Westchester. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the three of us drove up in my grandpa's Mustang with Buddy in the back seat. The cars in the driveway told the whole story. Tom's Tesla Model S, Dad's new BMW 7 Series, Mom's Lexus GX 460. Then there was the 1965 Mustang, white with red inside, shiny chrome. The Mustang was the best car in the driveway. People next door stopped what they were doing. Real old fast cars fixed right always look good. Before I could ring the doorbell, the door opened. Tom stood there in expensive casual clothes, fancy pants, soft sweater, Apple Watch shining.
He still looked like he was trying too hard to show he was important.
Mike, real surprise in his voice. You really came? Yes, I came. I looked past him into the house. Nice place. The family was standing around a big rock table in the kitchen. The same people from 13 years ago, just older and looking richer. When they saw me walk in with Lisa, Jack, and Buddy, talking stopped in the middle of sentences. Mike. Mom's voice broke the quiet. She quickly put down a wine glass, stepped forward with that same worried look from when I was a child. It is really you. Yes, it is me. I looked around, gave a polite nod. Everyone in the kitchen seemed to stop breathing. Then my aunt stepped forward with a too bright smile. Oh, Mike, it has been so long. And who is this little angel? I moved Jack in my arms. My son, Jack. This is my soon-to-be wife, Lisa. Tom was still standing near, and I could see him looking at what I had on. My work clothes. The fact that I was not wearing expensive jewelry. So, Tom said, voice full of the same too much pride as before, what are you doing these days? Still fixing old junk cars? He turned to the room with a big show. You guys should see some of the junk Mike used to work on. Called them classics, but they were just old broken cars. A few family members laughed. Tom was just getting started. The future is electric cars that drive themselves, computer-driven transportation. But some people cannot let go of the past, you know? The room became quiet. Everyone turned to look at me, waiting for the answer they thought they already knew. The family disappointment. Still getting his hands dirty while Tom won in the tech world. I took a card from my wallet, gave it to Tom. Actually, yes, still working on cars. Tom looked at the card, looked again, then looked at me with confusion. Top old car fixing. He took out his phone, because of course he did, and started typing. The room was very quiet. Then Tom's face changed completely. The man looked like I gave him divorce papers. This is you, he said, voice getting lower. He turned the phone to the room, started reading. Top old car fixing. Best high-level old car fixing place. Doing top-quality builds and custom performance work. The room was still. Tom kept reading, his face getting more white with each line. Co-owner Mike Smith has built a name as one of the East Coast's best old car fixers, with clients including famous collectors and museum-quality work. He slowly put down the phone, looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. The room had become very quiet. You own this place? I moved my head up and down one time. Co-owner, started from washing cars, built it up over 13 years. Mom was standing there with her mouth open. Dad had become very quiet. The cousins who used to laugh at my car work were staring like I just told them I was secretly Batman. Tom's voice came out smaller than normal. Mike, some of these cars, they're worth more than what, Tom? More than your company that is always 6 months away from selling to the public? I could see him trying to find what to say. Well, I mean, my new business is about to, let me guess, this is the big one, just like the last 3 companies that were going to make you the next Steve Jobs. I turned to Lisa. We should go home. Jack needs his dinner. As we walked to the door, I heard Mom's voice behind me. Mike, wait! I am proud of you! I stopped at the door, did not turn around, just said loud enough for the whole room to hear. 13 years too late, Mom, but thanks. Then we walked out, got in the Mustang with Buddy, and drove away from a Thanksgiving dinner where nobody was saying thanks anymore.
The next morning, I woke up like any other day. At 8 in the morning, my phone started making sounds. Tom's number showed up first, then many messages from him and my parents. Dave called me around noon, laughing a lot. News got around that you made your whole family look bad yesterday, about time. I looked at all the messages from Tom, but did not answer. Then my phone rang, Tom's number. Mike, look, I may have seemed wrong yesterday. I just had no idea you had built something so big. I put down my tool, cleaned my hands on a rag. Buddy was lying near, ears up at the sound of my phone. What did you think I was doing for 13 years? I do not know. I just thought you were getting by working at some car shop. But this is impressive, really impressive. Before I could answer, I heard other voices in the back. He had me on speaker. Dad's voice broke in. Son, we want to make things right. Family is family. Then Mom. We made mistakes, Mike. Maybe you could help Tom with the business part. Tom's voice again, getting excited. Actually, yes, I have some rich money friends. We could change the whole old car business. I could hear the nonsense flowing like water. Same old Tom trying to put his nonsense into everything. Probably wanted to make a phone app for car part tuning or computer-based part checking. Also, Tom continued, I have new money coming that will make this very big. I stopped him. Tom, what is the name of your current company? Short, quiet time. Well, we are in secret mode right now, but... And the last company? The one that was going to change social media? Quiet. I made a small laugh. Not angry, just tired. Let me understand this. For 13 years, you called my work junk. Now you want to be partners. Quiet on the other end.
Tom, you spent years making fun of everything I cared about. Now you want to bring computer money checking to my business? That was different, Tom said quietly. I was young. I did not understand. You did not understand because you were too busy talking about the next big thing. Dad's voice came through mad. Now, be reasonable, Mike. I am not mad at him. I just do not care about his newest idea. Just then, my phone made a sound with a text from my cousin Chris, John's younger brother, the only good one in that part of the family. Chris had always been honest with me, never believed Tom was so great. The text made me very upset. Heard you talk to the family. For your information, Tom is in big trouble. Owes more than $250,000 to money givers. Parents put the house up for money twice to help him. I looked at that message. Everything made sense now. The desperate sound in Tom's voice, Mom and Dad pushing so hard to get back together, the sudden interest in my big business. You know what? I said, voice getting colder. Want to tell me about your money problems now? No sound. Then rushing sounds like he was taking me off speaker. What do you mean? Tom's voice, much quieter now. I mean the $250,000 you owe money givers? I mean Mom and Dad's house being used for loans twice to pay for your failures. The quiet was so long I thought he had hung up. Finally, Tom's voice came back. All the pride gone. Who told you that? Is it true? Another long quiet time. It is complicated. The market changed. Stop the nonsense, Tom. Are you out of money or not? I am not out of money, he said weakly. I am just between big successes right now. Between successes. That is good. Mom's voice came back worried now. Mike, family helps family. Really? Because I remember asking for help one time. You told me to figure it out myself. This is different. How much, Mom? How much of your money for when you are old did you give him? That is not your business, Dad said sharply. We invest in our children's futures. You invested in one child's future. The other one you told to figure it out himself. And you know what I did? Here is what will happen. I will hang up this phone, I will block all your numbers, and if any of you come to my business or my house, I will call the police. Mike, please, Mom started. And Tom, next time you were at a family meeting talking about how your brother works on junk cars, remember this talk. Tom's voice came one last time, almost a whisper. Mike, I am sorry. Yes, you are. Then I hung up, blocked every number I could think of, and went back to fixing that car part. Through the shop windows, I could see Lisa in the house, Jack in her arms, both of them watching me work. My real family, the only opinions that mattered.
Later that night, Dave stopped by with 6 drinks and some food. News had gotten around about my family meeting. So, how did it feel? He asked, sitting in the chair across from my work table. Like closing a door that should have been closed years ago. Dave moved his head up and down, understanding without needing details. Being family gets you in the door. Respect decides if you stay. I looked around the shop. Frank had become the father figure I had needed. Dave was the brother who really helped me. Lisa and Jack were the future I was building. Even Buddy had chosen me over whoever had left him. Yes, I said, turning back to the car part to fix. Sometimes it is. It has been a month since that Thanksgiving dinner and the phone call that showed everything. Life has gone back to its quiet way. The old car business is doing very well. We just finished a numbers-matching 1970 Plymouth Cuda that is going to Barrett-Jackson next month. Last week, cousin Chris called with news. Tom's new company was apparently just a Ponzi business with no real product. The money givers he owed were getting upset, saying they would take him to court. He has been telling everyone his company is about to sell to the public, Chris said. But from what I can see, it is just him and a website he made himself. I was not surprised. Jack is growing fast, already trying to grab tools when I hold him. He is going to be trouble, Lisa said. Good trouble, I answered. Next month we are getting married. A small event with family and friends who really matter. Frank will walk with me. I thought that was right, since he is the closest thing to a father I have had since my grandpa died. I have no regrets about leaving the people who share my blood but never shared my respect. Every time I start the Mustang and hear that 289 motor sound through the special exhaust pipes, I remember that some things have value that lasts, and some people understand the difference between building something real and just talking about it. The fake person can keep his fake business and his borrowed life. I have something better. A life built with honest work.